Inshallah, this last ayat that we'll discuss is chapter 14, verse 22. This last ayat, inshallah, that we'll discuss is chapter 14, verse 22. Alright, again, A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaytanir Rajeem. So, inshallah, the last ayat that inshallah we'll discuss is chapter 14, verse 22. Now, this ayat is very important, right? Because even though Shaytaan is the dual being, even though Shaytaan said he'll make that which is fair seeming, he'll make bad seem good and good seem bad. Even though Shaytaan said, I'm going to sit on the Sirat al-Mustaqim, I'm going to lead many of them astray, I'm going to take many of them to the hellfire. You won't find many of them of the Shakirin. You won't find none of those of the Mukhlisin, right? Those who I won't have no power over are those who are the Mukhlisin, right? Even though Shaytaan said he's going to do all of this, he said as long as the Bani Adam, as long as they have breath or they have life, he said he's going to try to take them off the Sirat al-Mustaqim. Right? He's avowed with that. He's determined with that. Even though he's the one doing all of this. The cold thing about it in the day of judgment, that won't be an excuse for you. That won't be an excuse. Well, Shaytaan did it. The devil made me do it. Allah don't care because he warned you about him. He told you about him. Right? Innahu lakum aduwwun mubin. So don't follow. Right? Do not follow the footsteps of Shaytaan. But verily he is for you a duwwun mubin. And the evidence for this, that regardless of what he did, regardless of the whispers that he did, regardless of the tricks and the deceptions that he did, right? On the day of judgment, that won't be an excuse. Where's the evidence for that? Chapter 14, verse 22. And we'll read it. Shaytaan will say, A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaytanir Rajeem. وقال الشيطان لما قضي الأمر إن الله وعدكم وعد الحق ووعدتكم فأخلفتكم وما كان لي عليكم من سلطان إلا أن دعوتكم فاستجبتم لي فلا تلوموني وَلُومُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. So Allah SWT said that Shaytaan will say, A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaytanir Rajeem. Shaytaan said, I cannot listen to your cries. So Allah SWT said, Shaytaan will say, and when the Amr, and when it has been decreed the Amr of Allah, so when the day of judgment comes, وَقَالَ Shaytaan لَمَّا قُضِيَ الْأَمْرِ. So Shaytaan will say, when the matter has been decreed, Inna Allah wa'adakum. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had promised you. Right? So Shaytaan will say, but everybody will try to blame Shaytaan. Well, he made me do it. The devil made me do it on the day of judgment. Everybody will blame Shaytaan. But Shaytaan will say, well, look, Allah promised you, right? And he promised you the haqq. And I promised you, right? But I switched up my game. I changed it up for you. Right? Then Shaytaan said, I cannot listen to your cries, nor can you listen to mine. And verily, I reject your associating me with Allah. For verily, the wrongdoers for them is an excruciating punishment. Right? So Shaytaan, he will say on the day of judgment, when everything has been manifested, right? Allah promised you, and he promised you the haqq. And I promised you, but I switched up my promise. Right? وَمَا كَانَ لِيَ عَلَيْكُم مِّن سُلْطَانٍ. And I didn't have any authority over you. He'll say, man, I didn't have no authority over you. I couldn't control you. All I did was whisper. You did what you wanted to do because you did it. Right? Right? All I did was call you. Right? And you answered my call. Right? So Shaytaan said, I cannot listen to your cries. Right? Nor can you listen to mine. And verily I reject your associating me with Allah. For verily the wrongdoers for them is excruciating punishment. So Allah said that Shaytaan will say, وَلَا تَلُومُونَنِي. And do not blame me. Right? But blame yourself. Don't blame me, blame yourself. Right? When it's all said and done, at the day of the judgment, when everybody will be standing with every row, whether the Sabiqeen, Ashab Yamin, right, Ashab Shimal, right? Whether they're those who are blessed or wretched. When it's all said and done, Remember, it said that in the Quran, it says some of the people, they'll be chained up with their Shaytaan, or those Quran, they'll be chained up with you. You'll be chained up to the devil that was following you, whisper to you. You'll be like, oh, get away from me. No, I'm here. Yeah, you followed me. You listened to me. And people will try to blame Shaytaan. Shaytaan will say, man, hey, man, Allah promised you, but he promised you the haq. I promised you, right, but I switched up my promise, right? I didn't have no authority over you. I didn't have no authority over you. I didn't have no power over you. I couldn't control you to do anything, right? He said, all I did was call you. I'm da'wah. I gave da'wah to you. I've called you, whether it's through the music, right? Whether it's through the money, whether it's through the TV, whether it's through the videos, whether it's through the Shaytaan. I called you, and you answered my call. So don't blame me, but blame your own self. Blame your own nafs, right? Then Shaytaan said, I cannot listen to your cries, nor can you listen to mine. Everybody be saying, nafsi, nafsi. I mean, y'all ain't going to hear what I'm crying about, and I can't hear about what y'all crying about. And verily, I reject your associating me with Allah. And verily, I reject you worshiping me, right? You devil worshipers, right? Because either you're going to worship Allah, or you're going to worship Shaytaan. Right? Either Allah is your ilah, or Shaytaan is your ilah, or your nafs is your ilah, meaning your God. Right? He said, I will reject you associating me with Allah. For verily the wrongdoers, for them is an excruciating punishment.